All right, good morning, everybody. I'm gonna try this again. I just did this full video and went back and checked it and didn't have any sound, so I guess I had to redo it all. So out here letting the chickens out this morning, and that's why I wanted to kind of do this. I was actually, we butchered chickens yesterday, and really got to thinking about all the numbers and everything on these birds. So when I was sitting in the house earlier, drinking my tea and all that, I got a piece of paper and pen and a calculator and started running numbers on our egg birds here, our black Jersey Giants. So we got them moved over here into the sweet corn, and I like to move them around about every week or two. And the reason I put them into sweet corn now is this corn's gonna be ready here in probably about 2 weeks. So they do a really good job of knocking down weeds and all that, and plus they fertilize everything. So it's kind of a win-win. They'll clean everything. They go up through the rows here and clean everything up. So, and bugs are another problem with sweet corn. It's not so much the bugs, it's the birds. You'll have little black bugs will come in and get into the end of the tassel, or not the tassel, but the silk, and then the bugs will, and the birds will come in and tear up the ends of the sweet corn and ruin it. So if we can eliminate the bugs, then we can eliminate the birds tearing it up. But anyways, back to topic. I've gotten into this a couple times where I've went out and bought, 50, 100 chickens, and I'm gonna make money on eggs. Might make a couple $100 a week or something, and really never ran the numbers on it, which is not like me. I'm kind of if you watch my chucking channel and maintenance and all that, I usually like to look at all the numbers and everything and see if something's viable. But I've had chickens since I was a little kid. I've always liked being, I just think they're fun. I like watching them do their thing, like coming in here and clearing this out. So they're just a nice thing to have. I mean, I think, and it'd be nice if you could make money off of them. But unfortunately, as I'm going to tell you here, there's no money in it, and unless you just like doing it, you're probably just wasting your time. So I'm going to have to refer to my scratch paper here as I'm doing this. So we bought, I got 50 females, and I bought 25 straight run to give myself a couple roosters to take care of the girls. I like to have one rooster, one male per every 5 to 7 females. And the reason for that is that we got hawks and stuff around here and other predators. And you see how they're pretty good about looking out for their little group. They'll have their little groups. And most of the males, once the pecking order is established, there won't be any type of fighting or anything like that. They kind of know their place. And I mean, if you take one out of the mix for a while and you bring them back in, they might forget that they know each other, and there might be some initial fighting, but everything will kind of work itself out. So we bought 75 birds, which I'm not going to count for the extra 25 in this scenario. I'm just going to go off the 50 females for basically for production. And I bought them from Murray McMurray Hatchery out of Iowa, free delivery. And I think I paid $4.33 a bird. I got the real actual total price, but for 50 females, black Jersey Giants, I paid $216.50. Now these birds are roughly 22 weeks till they start laying. So I mean, the first 22 weeks, it's just all cost. There's nothing. You're not going to get anything for 22 weeks, and it might even take a couple weeks longer than that before you kind of get into getting more eggs. I mean, you get the little pullet eggs and all that. But until you start getting like sellable eggs, I mean, you could be in the 25, 30 weeks. So, $216.50 on that, and I'm just going through all these initial costs here. And the next number I'm going to go over is labor, because a lot of us don't account for our labor. I've got 2 other businesses. I think my time is valuable. I do enjoy doing this, but time doing this is time away from other stuff I could be making more money on. So basically I have about an hour a day involved. I mean, I might only have a half hour today, and I might have an hour and a half tomorrow, just depending on, I figure picking up feed. If I got to move them around, if I got to move the fences around, that might take 2 hours. I got to, filling up water. So about an average of an hour a day. So in 22 weeks at an hour a day, that's 154 hours. And I think I kind of put a low cost on this. Like I put $20 an hour, and 154 hours, that comes up to $3,080 for 22 weeks of labor, just to get them basically to laying stage. 22 weeks of feed, I went through roughly average of 50 pounds of feed a week. I mean, I haven't went through and weighed it out ounce by ounce of like exactly how much I used, but roughly a good estimate is about 50 pounds a week, which I buy my feed at the local Tractor Supply or the other farm store up the road here. And it's about $18.99 a bag. I don't pay tax for farm stuff. So that's in 22 weeks, that's $417.78 on feed. Now the last thing you got to figure is your equipment, like these range feeders here, little chicken house. I mean, lumber is a lot higher now. That was built a while ago. My dad actually built that little house there. I'm building another mobile Eggmobile, which I don't know if we've done a video on that or not yet. I know I did some clips on it, but I don't think we'd put the whole video together, I don't think. And I'm kind of doing that from materials and scraps and stuff I had laying around here to kind of save money. I haven't had to put a whole lot of money out of pocket into it, but so with all the feeders and equipment and hoses, I mean, everything else you gotta have, I just put $500 on that, which you might have, if you're starting up, you might have 1,000 or 1,500 involved in that. So I mean, you gotta figure your lamps, your broiler lamps. I got 50 gallon stock waters what I start the chicks in. I got those used at Tractor Supply this year, so saved a lot on those. But everything total for the initial cost, you're at $4,214.28 roughly. You know, that's about where I'm at. You know, if I figured, you know, my labor, I mean, the labor is a big component of that, but like I said, you got to figure that in. If you're not, you're just cutting your own legs off. So now the disturbing part, I think, to me was what really kind of made my heart sink. As I'm driving around, there's a lot of people that's gotten chickens. I mean, I think especially with the COVID nonsense and all that, you know, people have kind of want more self-sufficiency. And I think a lot of people, they probably went out and bought a bunch of birds and now they don't know what to do with all the eggs. So they're basically giving them away. I can't go basically down one road around here, and I got to see somebody at the end of their driveway, they got a sign for eggs for $2.50 or $3. And I'm gonna tell you what $3 a dozen, I'm basing this because I see a lot of signs for $3 a dozen. And I'm gonna tell you what $3 a dozen equates to here. So just for your initial cost, if you wanna recoup that plus your labor, at $4,200. At $3 a dozen, guys, you're gonna have to sell 1,405 dozen eggs. That's dozen, that's not eggs. So to really bring that into reality here, that number, that 1,400 dozen eggs, that's 16,860 eggs. So 50 birds, I mean, if you're lucky getting 50 a day, I don't know if you'd ever get that many eggs or not. So that's a lot of eggs. So like I said, almost 17,000 eggs at $3 a dozen just to recoup your initial cost. Now, let's say you just want to make like your initial cost. We'll just say that's just a wash, and we'll start from day one when they start laying. So still figuring my labor, guys, an hour a day, 7 days a week. It's $20 an hour, $140 a week. Then 50 pounds of feed at $18.99, so we're at $158.99, roughly $160 a week. So at $3 a dozen, just to recoup those weekly ongoing costs, you're at 53 dozen a week, which is 636 eggs. So 50 birds times 7 days, the most eggs you're gonna get are 350. That's it. I mean, you're not gonna get 2 eggs out of 1 bird per day. So I mean, that's if you're at 100% production. If that's if they're laying an egg every day, the most you're going to get is 350 eggs. When at $3 a dozen, just to break even, you need to be 300 more than that. So then you'd have to buy more birds, more time, more feed, more living space, and all that stuff, which it's just a never-ending. At that price point for eggs, it's just a treadmill. You're never going to get out of it. You're never going to break through. Now, we're going to say I've kind of reverse mathed this. So at that 160 bucks, the only way you can break even is to have that price point at $6 a dozen. $6 a dozen is basically break even on these costs and this amount of birds. So that would be 27 dozen eggs a week, and that's 324 eggs, which is doable on this amount of birds. but they're going to have to almost lay an egg every day, and you're going to have to sell them all. You're going to have to clean them all. You're going to have to clean and sell 324 eggs, 27 dozen eggs, just to cover your weekly cost and you know, your time and all that. So like I said, I've gotten into this several times, and I've always had these big dreams, you know, like I'm gonna have, you know, 100 or 500 birds and be able to make money, and it just people aren't gonna pay that. I mean, you're competing with Walmart, local supermarkets and all that, and these places, they're selling the organic and the free range, cage free, and that's all. Those terms are so loose. You see free range on these eggs at Walmart or whatever. They're not, most likely, I mean, they might be, but I would give it about a 90% chance. Those birds are probably in some type of confinement situation where they're in a chicken house and they're just not in cages, but they're allowed to run around in there, and there might be 10,000 of them in there altogether. So those terms that they use, they're so loose and what they're allowed to get away with. I mean, even in the organic ones, I mean, they could still be in a cage type of environment. They're just being fed organic feed. So it just is, you just can't compete. I mean, especially then with the regular conventional run-of-the-mill eggs. I mean, you see those for $1 a dozen. So I mean, people, they're just not gonna, I mean, most people aren't gonna pay that. I mean, and especially if I just want to break even, you know, from, you know, like I said, even if I wash out my initial investment, that $4,200, and you know, initially, I mean, I'm gonna have to be at $6. And if I got Joe Blow and everybody else, I mean, every corner you go around, there's a sign for $2.50, $3. People aren't gonna. If I got to sign out for $6, I mean, what's the obvious choice? Because it's basically the same product for the most part. You know, what somebody else is going to be selling out of off their farm or out of their yard or whatever. So. Yeah, it is what it is. So we've done a lot of farmers markets and stuff like that in the past with our produce, and the only thing I didn't like about that is, you know, a lot of people come there like it's a yard sale, like they're there to get a bargain, and in my opinion, that's not really what it's about. I think when you're coming to a farm, I mean, there are people that go to like the vegetable wholesalers, and they'll buy the boxes of stuff, and you can tell they didn't grow it because it all looks the same. I mean, you can tell stuff that's came off a commercial farm versus someplace like us, and those people, they buy it and they're just making a little bit. And they don't have any skin in the game. They didn't put their hands in the dirt and do it, and grow everything and do all the work and all that stuff. They just went somewhere and bought it wholesale, and they're reselling it. And those are the people, they will do, you know, it is cheap deals and all that. But I mean, we're trying to sell a craft product, you know, just like I'm into like craft beer drinking and all that. You know, when I go in, you know, I go into the bigger beer stores where they got all the stuff from all over the world and all that. And then if I go in there and buy like a Sierra Nevada or you know, Great Lakes or something like that, I know I'm gonna pay twice as much, you know, from if I was buying a Bud Light or a Coors Light or Miller or something, because it's a smaller batch. There's a lot more work that goes into it. I mean, it's not a huge economies of scale type of thing. So I want a better product, so I know I'm gonna pay probably twice as much for it. So, and you know, I think food is the most important thing, but it seems like it's the one thing we don't want to pay nothing for. So at the end of the day, so you know, so it's just one of those things. I mean, so most like this is gonna be if you want to get into this, unless you're like working grants or something like that, or you have some deal where you can sell every egg for $6, $7, $8. I mean, it's not to be profitable. I mean, you would have to be. I mean, 6 is this break even, in my opinion, and what my numbers show. I mean, like I said, if you're considering your labor. Now, like if somebody's I'm only spending $20 a week in feed, I mean, you know, I guess more power to them. But you know, like I said, in my situation, I've got heavy equipment, truck repair mobile truck repair business, all that. I got people calling that want stuff done, and I get wrapped up in this stuff, and I blow people off and stuff like a lot of times, and I mean, not on purpose. I just get into things and I forget about calls. I'm terrible at text message. I'll see a text message like, oh, I'll reply to it in a little bit, and I'll reply to it a week later. So because I love doing this, so it is a hindrance, and you know, to other things I could be making more money at. So, but I enjoy doing it, and I want my kids to be around it, and I don't know, maybe things in the future will change. I mean, I think in America here, the rest of the industrial food system is so subsidized, but for somebody that's small and trying to get in and starting out and all that, it's really hard to break in. And like I said, people, when you got competition, you know, from Walmart, you know, Giant Eagle, Kroger's, whoever your local retailers are, and then not only that, you got the other people down the road cutting everybody's throat too at $2.50, $3 a dozen. So there's just no money in it. So like I said, I was just sitting down this morning. I've been wanting to get some videos out like this. I mean, I've done a lot of numbers videos on our trucking channel with buying trucks and, you know, loads and all that type of stuff. So I've been wanting to kind of do the same thing on this channel for people that might be interested in getting into doing this type of stuff. So we slaughtered butchered our meat birds yesterday, so I'm gonna be doing kind of some number stuff on that after that video comes. I don't think she's got those videos. I got a couple farm videos, like 3 or 4 here on my camera that I haven't got put out yet. So we're gonna be trying to be doing like 2 videos a week on this channel, especially in the summertime. And I got, like I said, a lot more numbers videos coming out. I kind of said I was gonna do a numbers video on the meat birds, what the economics of those look like for a small scale producer like us. And also, I know there's a lot of other farming channels that are out there, and a lot of them are people that, no offense to anybody, and you know, it's great that a lot of people that's been passed down forever. You know, these farms have been in these people's families for 100 years or more, and that's, I mean, that's awesome for them. But like my family had all that, you know, and had a pretty big dairy operation down that in Southeast Indiana, and on both sides of my family had. I think my other grandfather's family, they were farming like 800-900 acres back like in the 50s and 60s, which was a lot of ground then, with the equipment that they had. And then you get, you know, somewhere along the line, somebody just decides they don't want to do it anymore, and stuff gets sold and it ends. And you know, then somebody that like wants to I've always been around it, you know, in one way or another. But when you're starting from scratch, you're trying to buy equipment, land, or even trying to lease land and all that. It costs a lot of money, and it's really hard, and you really got to be in the community for a while and get to know people. And so I want to do a video on that as well. Kind of starting out farming small scale, you know, when it wasn't given to you basically. So, and you had to build it all yourself, which, like I said, we don't have a whole lot, but what we do have is it's a lot of work and a lot of money and a lot of time. So we're having something out on that as soon as well. But got our little turkeys here. Got 6 of those this year, so I'm gonna try those out. But we'll have some more out on those as well. But again, guys, so just wanted to, like I said, start this little number series deal and get that stuff out. But that's pretty much it for today. That's some good info for you. But like I said, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell for the updates, like the video. Like I said, check out our trucking channel if you're interested in trucks and maintenance and working on repairs and that type of stuff. And there's a lot of older money type videos, financial numbers videos in there as well if you're interested in that type of stuff. But we always try to cross promote both channels, so if you're interested in one, you can check out the other. But thanks for all the support, guys. Comment, ask questions. We'll do the best we can to get back to you. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.